I've actually thought about this moment quite a bit, particularly recently when Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath and every other legendary metal band, hard rock band played in his honor only 2 weeks ago. I thought about it then. He had Parkinson's disease. He's sick. He's always talking about his health. And so I would think, when will Ozzy Osbourne pass away? Well, he just did. I woke up this morning and someone said Ozzy Osbourne died. And I was hit like a freight train, like a crazy train. And so Ozzy Osbourne, dead at 76 years old, 2 weeks after the biggest concert, of his life in many ways, with all these people there paying tribute to him. These beautiful images of him in the green room with all these fans, people from Metallica and Pantera and Alice in Chains and Nuno Bettencourt from Extreme, and all these people were in there trying to get Ozzy's attention for a photo. If you look at that footage, I don't think I've seen anything with more love packed into it than that for a long, long time. Particularly in the world right now, there's so much fucking pain. And to see that in a world where people look at metalheads and go, oh, they're very scary, it's all about Satan and stuff like that. Nah, it's not. It's not about Satan at all. In many ways, it's about love. The people that came together to see Ozzy off on that particular day a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
What an incredible seeing off of an absolute legend. Ozzy said recently, without his wife Sharon, he'd be up slack alley. And it was really beautiful to hear that, because when I think about Ozzy Osbourne, I actually don't see a dark prince. I don't see the devil incarnate. I see a person with a really amazing energy who just loved to be up there. There is nothing that comes close to the sound of Black Sabbath in those early years. Ozzy Osbourne's voice was about as unique as anything you can imagine. And with Sabbath's music, the detuned guitars, and Geezer Butler's rolling, perpetual bass lines that just seem to hum across Bill Ward's phonetic drums. Oh my God, like we're talking about not just a really great band that inspired so many. We're talking about possibly, as a friend of mine said, the greatest band that ever lived.
Why would they be the greatest band that ever lived?
Not because I'm a metalhead, because I'm not. Not because I think that music is the be-all and end-all, because it's not. It is because they literally came up with their own sound. Yes, Led Zeppelin were doing something that was reasonably heavy. Yes, the Beatles had Helter Skelter, and they had some sounds that were a little bit ghoulish and dark at times, but nothing came close to that sound of Sabbath. I first heard the sounds of Sabbath when I jumped out of my car as probably about a 10 or 11-year-old. And I walked across my driveway to get to my back door. My parents, my family, we'd been out. It was about 10:30 at night. And as I approached the back door, all I could hear was some of the most nightmarish sounds coming from the neighbor's house. It was literally the part of War Pigs that goes... And I'm standing on my patio going, what the hell is that? A couple minutes later, I'm by the fence and I'm listening, and I can hear the drums and the bass, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's like a horror film. And I think that's Sabbath's charm, right? They literally named themselves after a Boris Karloff horror film, Black Sabbath. But I mean, this was a band that every song you listened to, from War Pigs to The Wizard to little acoustic things that no doubt inspired bands like Metallica, like Black Sabbath's song Fluff, for example, they are just an incredibly innovative band. And I think that's where they deserve a bit more credit. Not just because they're the founding fathers or they're the grandfathers of heavy metal. Probably more so that they slot in there with Jethro Tull and with Zeppelin and with these other bands. But they actually brought so much to music, not just metal. And for a musician, someone like me, listening to songs like Planet Caravan as a kid, at the end of Planet Caravan, you hear these chords on piano come in. And I remember thinking, holy cow, that's amazing. By the way, the bass line from Geezer Butler is also Paranoid.
Pretty cool.
Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne.